I just want to thank everybody for coming to the opening of the brand new Rogue House of Spirits and Distillery.
As Oregon has become a leading wine producer and is arguably the leading producer of beer, also we could become the leading state for micro distilling. We like to be on the leading edge of things. And we had a guy that knew how to build a still, so we built a still and started making rum.
This still is capable of producing 96% pure ethanol.
This is a dream I've had for a long time, and I couldn't ask for a nicer still or a better opportunity.
We now celebrate the opening of the Rogue House of Spirits and Distillery. Al Jorgensen, please cut the crime scene tape.
I think it's the next extension for crafters, is to go into the spirits. And I think Rogue, again, being the type of company they are, they're always sort of on the cutting edge of what's going to be the next.
We don't have to go out as a new brand and try to explain to people what Rogue is and what Rogue means. People already know that.
It's like a cardamom black pepper.
Consumers want variety. We think consumers want local products. I compare the microdistilling movement today to the craft beer movement 20 years ago, and Rogue being a provider of world-class beer 20 years ago and still today can be a world-class provider of microdistilled spirits in the 21st century.
We're a little different than making beer. When we make spirits, we make a beer. We start with a beer, and we add a yeast that has a really high alcohol tolerance. We ferment our mash out to about 17 to 20%, where a beer is 6 to 9%. From there, we put it in the still and we purify the alcohol. We concentrate the alcohol. I collect about 80 gallons a day of 175 proof alcohol.
There's not a moment or a part of the process that doesn't have the distiller's touch on it.
I'm involved with every step of the process, where in a national brand or a big distillery, it goes from one person to the next person to the next person, where I choose the quality all the way along the line.
It's an absolute attention to minute detail every step along the way, all the way up to filling the bottles by hand, capping them and corking them by hand. There still is today nobody else handcrafting rum in the state of Oregon, and when we decided to make rum, it was a challenge to step up and make a product that nobody else was making and make it better than anybody else was making it.
We know from brewing, we know from distilling that one of the elements that creates a truly unique flavor profile in a product is the complex melding of a variety of different ingredients. And so to use 10 ingredients in our hazelnut spice rum and 14 ingredients in our gin gives those products a flavor you can't just get with 2 or 3 ingredients.
Starts right at the curbside, carrying our ingredients up the stairs, creating washes by hand, measuring those washes every single day by hand, tasting them to make sure that the wash is just exactly where the distiller wants it before he puts it into the actual still to ferment, sitting there beside the still as the distillate comes out and to make sure that the cuts are done at exactly the right time. Same once we put it into barrel to age. So what we know is that when the product is done, our distiller's attention has been on it every step of the way.
Why 3 rums? Why not?
You can't make a mojito with dark rum. You wouldn't use a white rum to make coffee drinks. So if we want to be the best at making rum, we have to show that we can make the variations that exist in rum and make them all very, very well.
We're going to continue to come out with great products, unique products that nobody's ever made before that consumers will gravitate to. Having been successful with the beer, knowing what works, we're going to bring those same elements to spirits to make the spirits range a world-class range of products.